Yesterday we asked whether there was much to celebrate. Tonight we are asking why the BJP went for the attack even before the Congress party formally began the celebrations. Salman Khurshid representing the government and the Congress, Vinod Mehta of the Outlook, Kumar Ketkar, senior journalist here with me, and also Chandan Mitra, to whom my first question goes. Dr. Mitra, could you tell all our viewers and Salman Khurshid, whose party is extremely upset with you, why your party, even before any formal statement or celebrations began, had this press conference today criticizing the UPA's record? What were you trying to achieve?
What is there to wait? They are going to have a dinner where half of their allies are not going to even be there, and they are going to celebrate. Look, I agree that they have enough to celebrate. Let me say, yes, they have enough to celebrate. They have made so much money in the last 9 years that they are celebrating the loot of the country. So that does not, we don't need a formal statement from them. We want an account of how much money has been looted over the 9 years and how the India story has been completely relegated to the dustbin. So that is the only thing that we have to see, and that does not need a UPA statement patting themselves on the back.
Salman Khurshid,
they have already reached the Himalayan heights of corruption. What more?
Salman Khurshid, do you think the more the celebrations, the more the pointed questions will be asked about you? About why you're celebrating, the more negatives will be pulled out, the more facts you'll be called upon to answer?
I'm not going to get drawn into whether the use of the word celebration is appropriate. It's not a word that we have chosen. Your panelists are using that word. This is an important milestone, an event, and we are gathering to mark an event, take stock of what we have done, look ahead at the time that we have to fulfill the promises that we've given, and if we feel that we've succeeded on some things, to encourage ourselves and our workers with it, and if we think that we've slipped up somewhere, to ensure that we make good the loss.
No, can I then specifically ask you, Mr. Khurshid, would you concede that most of the achievements that you are talking about in your report card are all UPA 1 projects? NRHM, UPA 1. Manrega, with the scams and the CAG report, UPA 1. Right to information, UPA 1. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, UPA 1. On the contrary, if I were to pick up one example of Colgate, there is no mention of Colgate. When you talk about
Shiksha Abhiyan was NDA. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was NDA.
So my question is, what real achievements are you showing in UPA 2? Is it not strange your report card is full of UPA 1 achievements?
Well, they see we are not. There are no silos that we can present to the country. There are points of view. There is a vision. There is a continuum, and there is a process. And each stage of that process is something that is known to the country, and that must be highlighted to the country.
No, but what you're trying to do.
There are a lot of new programs.
No, what you're trying to do, and I think
there are a lot of new programs. What are we trying?
No, what you're trying.
What are we trying to do?
What you're trying to do, and I think what is making the BJP nervous. Let me get a comment in from Chandan Mitra before I get in Kumar Ketkar and Vinod Mehta. What the Congress is trying to do, Chandan Mitra, and probably which is making you nervous, is change the nature of the discourse from corruption to, for example, direct cash transfer, from corruption to the food security bill, from corruption to all the social sector schemes. In other words, they are telling you can go on and on and on about corruption, but we will change the nature of the discussion in the next few months, and we are starting by doing that now. Chandan Mitra.
Let them, they are welcome. They are in government. They have all the wherewithal, and now they are flush with funds, so they of course they will try to change the discourse, but it will be for the people to judge whether these kind of lollipops being offered to the voters on election eve is going to change the record of corruption, misgovernance.
No, what do you mean by lollipops?
Reduced growth rate.
What do you mean by lollipops?
Inflation.
What do you mean by lollipops? Is
all these lollipops? Which
is the direct cash transfer a lollipop?
Doling out.
No, is
on the food security bill? I want the food security. 1 minute. Like you ask me a question, I'll reply. Food security bill. The BJP-run state governments have a better bill than what they are coming up with. So people are not fools. They are not fools. These kind of announcements that we'll give you food at this price and that price.
Are you feeling threatened? Are you feeling threatened?
The ADMK government,
Chandan Mitra, Chandan Mitra, are you feeling threatened somewhere?
Come on, every opinion poll is showing us miles ahead of the UPA. हम तो मीलों आगे हैं, इनको तो अभी मीलों जाना है. तो that is very clear. Why should we feel threatened?
Well, now I would like to get in Kumar Ketkar and Vinod Mehta into this discussion. Kumar Ketkar first.
Yeah.
Okay. The basics of this discussion have been laid out so far. Do you believe the Congress attempt to change the nature of the discussion will succeed over the next few days?
I don't think it will substantially succeed because it has not succeeded for the last 4 years. I have still not understood why they did not engage the people directly during last 4 years, directly communicating with them. This is not the first time any government that comes in crisis. Mrs. Gandhi was in crisis and she went out to people. She held something like 200 meetings without any election agenda. Went out to people to explain why she is being charged by all kinds of people between 69, 71, 75 and so on and so forth. So I don't understand why this government had this huge communication gap with the people. Whether they have achieved during last 4 years or not is a completely different question. I don't think corruption was the only issue for last 4 years. There are so many things that have happened at a lower, small, big, medium level, but they have not gone to the people.
So you are saying what they are doing is too late. And
explaining them, and therefore it is too late.
Yeah, you think it's too late. Vinod Mehta, what would you say to Salman Khurshid? Is this too little, too late in terms of a rebranding strategy?
Well, what I would say to Salman Khurshid is, of course, Congress is perfectly entitled to celebrate its 4th anniversary. This is a ritual that most governments do. But they would have to be very lucky to convince the people of India that they have something to celebrate. Now, what has happened already is that these celebrations are happening under a dark cloud. And as far as the report is concerned, we know what the report card is. I mean, it's hardly a secret. There will be much more attention today on the kind of endorsement and support that Dr. Manmohan Singh gets from Sonia Gandhi. And what are the nice things she says about him, and whether, very important, whether they will take any questions from the assembled media. But the focus is not so much on the report card today, it's on the endorsement that Sonia Gandhi gives to the Prime Minister, which there's...
Well, that's the question. That's a question. Salman Khurshid, let's get you in and let Chandan Mitra also come in on this part. I think Vinod Mehta lays it very directly. Why has it come to such a situation? Why has it come to such a situation, Salman Khurshid, where the biggest headline is Sonia Gandhi's endorsement of the Prime Minister? What does this tell you?
No, I don't know. I mean, if you create a miasma, you create a question in the public mind, and then you think that that question needs to be answered, and if it's answered, you say, well, there you are. The fact that you're answering this question means that you needed to answer this question. I think this is all fine as far as general discussion is concerned.
You think this is all, you say this is all journalistic talk, there's no reality in this, Salman Khurshid? Is there no reality in the fact that the Prime Minister had to be nudged by Sonia Gandhi to ask the ministers to resign?
I don't know how in the echelons, top echelons of our party, discussions take place and how conclusions are drawn. But what we do know that conclusions are drawn, and those conclusions are conclusions that we believe are the best for the country and our party. Now, the process by which we arrive at that conclusion is a confidential internal process that we are not privy to, and we certainly think you are not privy to. But you have a right as a media to speculate about what might have happened. We can help you only to the extent that we are able to help you. But the fact is, there's a decision that's been taken, and that decision is a collective decision between the Prime Minister and our President.
Well, okay, 5 more minutes to this discussion. Chandan Mitra wanted to rebut you there. Yes, Dr. Mitra.
Arnab. Yeah, I'll just reply to this, after which, I have to leave.
I just take 5 more minutes from you. Yes, go ahead.
I will just say that this entire story is... No, this is my last question I'm taking. I have to say that all these stories about the friction between the Prime Minister and the Congress President,
Right.
the fact that the Congress President had to lean on the Prime Minister to get the ministers sacked, that there's a big dispute whether Mr. Manmohan Singh will be projected as the leader in 2014
Or not.
Rahul Gandhi or anybody else for that matter. All this has been coming from Congress sources. BJP hasn't created them. Mr. Salman Khurshid would know better that the spin doctors, either in the PMO or in 10 Janpath, are dishing out these stories. There are informal briefings to journalists and they are told to put out certain type of stories. And so, with all these stories coming from the Congress, who are we to believe? So, it was so apparent that the 10 Janpath was keen to project itself as the lady in shining armor, that even if the Prime Minister goes wrong, she is going to step in and get things right. So, the Prime Minister allegedly resists getting resignations of his colleagues.
Oh, it's fairly
Then,
direct.
the Congress President steps in,
That's fairly
gets the
direct.
resignations.
Fairly
So
direct.
this
Fairly
is
direct. But don't go
obvious.
because I have one more
This
point
is
for you. No,
very,
I
very
want
obvious.
Chandan Mitra. I want you to hear Salman
No.
Khurshid's rebut, and then one question which is very relevant to you is coming up, and then we'll close this. Salman Khurshid, I don't think Chandan Mitra could be more direct than that.
Well, someone who's lost in wilderness, saying that I'm lost, can't be more direct, obviously. But I'm just very sympathetic to his condition. He is lost in wilderness, and I'm not going to help show him a light to find his way out of it.
The last question I have for you, Chandan Mitra, is this. You have coined many a slogan in your time. The pioneer front page, after the Pokhran blast was explosion of self-esteem, which is a nice line I'm told you coined. I wonder, Chandan Mitra, what you think of the Congress line on the direct cash transfer. It says, "Aapka paisa, aapka haath." Doesn't, no, one sec. Doesn't it sound strikingly similar to Congress ka haath Aam Aadmi ke saath? Do you think the government is trying to use a government scheme to bring the imagery of the Congress party symbol in a pre-election year?
Look, that is obvious, Arnab. I can't add anything more to it. But I can only say it's a nice catch line. If I were an ad agency man, I would pat the copywriter, and it's a good catch line. It is obviously aimed at putting in a Congress symbol somewhere in the scheme. But, the scheme has yet to start. The finance minister expresses reservations. The agriculture minister is not sure it's going to work. It is being started hesitantly. There are so many teething troubles that this will not be apparent to people, and then believe me, there will be one more scam emerging out.
No,
of it.
Chandan Mitra, what
so
is
ultimately,
no, Chandan
people
Mitra,
have to judge.
Chandan Mitra, again I'm asking, do you think, are you worried about this being the game changer? Because May 24, 2012, BJP resolution on agriculture of the National Executive Meeting. BJP urges the government to open compulsory bank accounts for all farmers and transfer all MSP payments, subsidies, indemnities in cash directly to the farmers. You were endorsing this scheme. Then, in 2013, you say this is a bribe. No, tell me. You wanted the scheme. Now that the Congress...
That if this thing was done in... one minute. You asked me the question. Let me answer because I'm really in a great hurry.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you that we wanted this scheme to be implemented. It is true. And we said that this is a good scheme. We are in principle not opposed to it. But to do this just on the eve of the election does amount to a bribe.
Bribe?
In fact, in actually just one state, in West Bengal, 8,000 villages don't have bank branches. How are you going to do this direct benefit transfer? So are you playing a joke on people?
Salman
No, you
Khurshid,
should have done all this and then started where actually everybody would have
Salman
benefited.
Khurshid, spending money as a race to the... listen to Salman Khurshid's reply, then you can go. Spending government money, spending taxpayer money in a race to the finish line is a charge the government now faces, Salman Khurshid. That's the charge. That the way you're rolling out schemes...
Well, the thing is, I think that really Chandan is suggesting something that the Election Commission has never tried, that in the last year of a 5-year term, you shouldn't do anything. You should just sit quiet and wait for the inevitable to happen. Now, if that's his understanding of democracy, there isn't very much I can say, but I can certainly say one more thing.
No, my point is
that
you don't
he
have the
probably
infrastructure
spells
for it.
democracy. He probably spells democracy as hypocrisy, because you just told him what they say when they are in opposition or when they are in government, and what they say when we are in government. Now, I think if you can distinguish democracy from hypocrisy, they would do a great service to our country.
Vinod Mehta, if I can get you in. The fact
Nice one-liner, but my only point is you have done this without infrastructure just to dangle this carrot, because nothing is going to actually happen. You are just holding out this hope and hoping to garner the votes. Hopefully that hope of yours will not succeed.
Vinod Mehta, the fact of the matter is today, politically speaking, the Congress party, which received a huge mandate in 2009, is barely surviving with the support of two antagonistic UP parties. Do you think Mr. Salman Khurshid can be confident that the state that he belongs to will continue to provide that oxygen for the next 12 months to UPA too?
Well, I think the oxygen is there for tonight.
Is it?
And maybe for tomorrow. I mean, on a day. But Ram Gopal, somebody is from SP.
Yes.
So Ram Gopal, SP will play hot and cold. That's the nature of Samajwadi Party. But I just want to make one point which I thought is being unnecessarily made. All governments start schemes to help the people, and if those schemes in the end allow governments to win elections, surely that is legitimate. There's nothing wrong with that. And if this Aadhaar scheme, aapka paisa aapke haath mein, if it works, I mean, it will help the people and it will help the Congress to win.
Okay, now
so what's the problem?
No problem.
I mean, BJP also did so many.
No problem. You have, despite the BJP calling you very often a pro-Congress man, you've been fairly direct in your criticism of the Prime Minister. I just want you to say the same thing before Salman Khurshid. Let me ask you directly, Vinod Mehta, because you seem to be in the mood tonight. The question is this: do you think the Congress party can keep Manmohan Singh in the chair and hope to win the next elections? What would you say to that?
I don't think so, and I don't think they intend to.
You don't know what's it? You don't know what's it? Why do you think they don't intend to?
Well, after what he's gone through, rightly or wrongly, I mean, he's a much wounded Prime Minister, and the Congress General, Mr. Janardhan Dwivedi, said something very interesting. He said he will remain Prime Minister till 2014. So the Congress has already put a time frame on Dr. Manmohan Singh's longevity.
But Salman Khurshid, Vinod Mehta, just quick point. Yes. Vinod Mehta says there, he does not think the Congress party will sustain Dr. Manmohan Singh into a third term. When will that be made clear? Because the Prime Minister himself kept the issue fairly open-ended, Mr. Khurshid.
Well, I don't think that we need to do any clarification on what our leaders, and that's Dr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia Ji and Rahul Ji, that's the triumvirate of our leadership. What they say, they decide, and how they lead from the front is their decision. And I don't think that it's appropriate for one of us to be commenting on and analyzing what they say. They lead from the front, and we follow them.
Well, Salman Khurshid and Vinod Mehta, today's the anniversary. I think the heat begins from here. Thank you very much for joining me on the Newshour debate. Thank you.
Thank you.